Alright, so I guess this is probably going to be considered its last rip.
We make the strings louder.
So today is probably going to be the last day of this the 1J car in the shop. I have a guy that he's flying into to Denver tomorrow, and he's going to be driving it back up to I think somewhere in Utah. So, but anyhow, we kind of negotiated on the price, talked about some stuff. So I'm pulling the wheels off and the taillights. I'm keeping those and putting stock tails in it, and putting the snow tires that were originally on it. So it's good. It's gonna have some studded snows, leaving everything else. But yeah, it's kind of, I've been, bitching about selling this thing in a couple of my videos and had a bunch of you guys asking about it. But he finally had somebody that came through, and so he's flying in tomorrow morning. So I just have to swap a few things. I was going to, in one of the last videos where I was talking about the steering rack leaking. I think it was because it was the first time I really driven it on the highway for a long time, and I think the power steering fluid just got hot just because it was circulating the whole time. So I picked up this little guy right here, a little tranny cooler, and and I'm gonna hook that up for the power steering cooler. So hopefully it won't get all hot and puke out of the rack like it did on me, because it hasn't been leaking since. But I haven't driven it very far since then. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and yank the wheels off of this and taillights, and throw that cooler on. Alright, so I went ahead and I got this lower line right down there dripping in a bottle, coming straight from the rack. I have the two lines from the cooler that I just kind of zip tied down in this little area. And ran the hoses to it, stuck it down there, zip tied it, and now I'm put this little sheathing around it so it doesn't rub on the radiator and rub a hole through it. And then yeah, basically I'm just gonna run up to that line right there, do a little hose mender with it. What did I do with the hose mender? But yeah, I have a little hose mender so I don't have to get down over there by the rack, which probably wouldn't have been too big of a deal, but anyhow, just gotta do that.
We got it installed. Basically what we're waiting to do now is fill it back up with fluids. We're gonna start it, make sure there's no air in there. We're gonna take it for a rip.
Actually, I already put the fluid in it, and I've already started it, and it doesn't leak. And he went and got some wings while I finish this thing up. And actually, we're not gonna take it for a rip yet. I'm gonna swap the wheels and tires off it, and then change the taillights, and then do maybe a few other little things to it, and then take it for it. Alright guys, so we are, well, I got you're on my head now, but, so I got the wheels and tires on it right now. It definitely kind of looks kind of sleeperish, other than it being low. But, so yeah, I was just going to go ahead and start taking these taillights off. I figured I'd try something a little bit different, which means, basically what I mean by that is by doing just kind of randomly talking while I work on shit. Well, I'm actually working on stuff, so kind of like the moto vloggers and stuff, how they, so this is how I wired the taillights before, is I just, I ran a piece of tape around that, and then stuffed them in there, and I ran like tape in between them, and then taped it so it like wouldn't wiggle and stuff. So that's how I did the taillight wiring on here. So that was super simple, and easy to. So now as soon as I put these other plugs, they'll just plug right in. But yeah, so I'm kind of glad I get to keep these taillights. I have another idea. I have another S13 hatch outside that I'm going to be doing some stuff with, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Get a little extension on that guy. But But yeah, so I thought I'd kind of talk a little bit about this little, or this thing that I've been trying for like the past 3 days, which is, it's called a ketogenic diet. And damn it, I'm trying to look for like a small one, but whatever, this one will work. Oh, look at that. So we'll just get more tools out and just leave them all right there. But it's a ketogenic diet, and I've been kind of fighting myself with laziness, and and I just feel like I'm not super productive, you know, over the past, you know, year or 2 years, three, since forever. I feel like doing what I do with all the projects at the shop and everything else, it's just super hard to stay focused, and I don't want to get on any like ADHD drugs or anything like that, because I feel like what I do is actually ADHD. Like, it's, I mean, just if you look up all the symptoms of ADHD and all that bullshit, like, that's me. Like the way like my brain works, like the way I get shit done, like how I get easily distracted. So I'm curious what you guys have actually tried, because I tried the whole Adderall thing a couple times, or like the smart drug. But I just didn't like that. It made me feel like a zombie. It made me uncreative. Like, if I was doing movies and shit, it'd be like a zombie. So definitely don't want to go down that route. I mean, I feel like kind of it's one of them things. It's the short-term benefit isn't worth the long-term risk that you're taking by doing that. And I mean, I'm not a super health freak or anything like that, but I mean, when I'm like 50 or 60 years old, or 80 or 100, or, you know, however long I live, I don't want to be like fucked up. I don't want to be like I don't know. You know what I'm saying though? I just don't want to be like that dude, like, you know, like your grandparents or your uncles and cousins and whoever, like parents, all that shit. Like, they have health problems and all that. Like, I don't want that. I want to have fun. I want to do, you know, I want to work on cars. I want to, you know, do dope shit essentially forever. And I don't want to fuck up my body. So I try to stay kind of away from, you know, a lot of drugs and all that shit. I don't drink too much. You know, not saying I don't drink or can't, you know, because I'm unwilling to like loosen up or anything, but I do. But anyhow, just kind of wanted to kind of touch on that. But basically what the ketogenic diet does is it's like a super low calorie diet where you only eat, it's low carbs, high fat is what it is. And so, like, I can't eat anything with, or I haven't, not supposed to eat anything with bread, not supposed to really do it, like drink anything other than like water. So I've been pounding the shit out of water. I just got me some wings from Domino's. Those were pretty good, but you know, the unbreaded, you know, just traditional wings. But it's, oh, look at that guy. Screw that guy. But anyhow, so I'm just trying that. But like, so this is day 3. So what they call, if you guys do some research and stuff, I was reading some Tim Ferriss stuff and listening to some podcasts and watching videos, and then I got on the internet and for like hours, and I just searched a bunch of shit about it. But essentially what it helps out with is like focus and clarity and energy, and, you know, you have more cognitive ability. And so yeah, essentially that's what I would like. I'd like to be a little bit more like direct. Even right now, I kind of feel like I'm in like not bad, but like kind of a brain fog. Sometimes you have a brain fart, and like most of the time I'll just walk around the shop, and just sometimes I'll like go to grab a tool, and I'm like, what the fuck did I go and grab? Like, what was I trying to grab here? And you know, I think that happens to a lot of us. You know, it's like you're talking on the phone with somebody, and you're like, where's my phone? And you're like looking for it, and it's like you're talking on the phone, and shit like that. Is, I think, a lot of focus, and so that I just figured I'd kind of talk about that. I'm curious what you guys, if your research, or what, you know, if you know anything about that. Maybe within the next couple days I should be in the full ketosis or whatever, and get through like the keto flu that I feel like I have right now, which is kind of like I don't know, kind of like a flu, and you feel like shit, and you're tired, and you don't really want to do anything, and you're kind of still in a fog. So I'm definitely still in a fog, but I'd like to see how I feel in a couple days, though. Probably just pull this shit out as I should have done. Man, I'm gonna miss this car, though. I mean, I debated, you know, months and months around of selling it, not selling it, should I keep it, should I not, like, all that stuff, and I still don't know if I should sell it, because I kind of like it, it's kind of dope. I tell you what, this little Milwaukee, it's like an M12 like ratchet, like 3/8 ratchet driver. Holy shit, that has to be like the best thing ever. I mean, as far as tools, because like, look at this shit. Like, you just pop right up in there. It's got a little light on it. You just go wham bam. Yeah, these works really good for the like light stuff. That, see, and here's my other. I'll kind of show you a little bit as long as you could see that in here. The tape that goes around it. This was my version of a plug. I mean, it was supposed to be temporary. Then it just kind of ended up being the way they were wired. But you'll see how the wires, they're all in there, and I figured out which ones worked. So I stuffed it in like that. I taped like in between them, you know, and then around the top so that none of them were touching together on the outside. They're all kind of spaced, and then so you could see down in there, there's the tape in between them, and then I went ahead and taped around it, and then I taped around that, and then around the plug, so it actually stayed in there, so it wasn't just gonna like pop out. And that was at least my temporary solution. This is a harness out of a Subaru Legacy or something like that. I don't know. I was running through the junkyard one day and bought these taillights. They didn't have any wiring with them. The only wiring they had was this, and not even that. No, it was for the backup lights. So that was the only wiring they had. I was like, shit, what am I gonna do? And then you could order like the plugs and do all that shit. And then I was just cruising through the junkyard. I seen something. I was like, oh shit, that might work. Yeah, see that? So then it pulls apart when you pull it apart, but when you don't pull it apart, it doesn't come apart. So shove all these out. I think it's just the sticky that's holding me up. Alright. So these guys are out. These ugly ones are going back in. I'm not sure. I thought I had another one of these laying around, but I don't. So these guys are going right back in. So you'll have to let me know what you think of this style of video, which, you know, my thought is like the moto vloggers. Like they drive around, they ride their bikes around, and they just talk about shit. And so that's kind of where I'm going with this. Is I think that would be kind of cool. Is if I could focus enough to actually talk and work on shit at the same time without it being like too loud. You know, like stuff right now when I'm running that little guy right there, he's making all kinds of noise and shit. But man, that thing looks like it just came out of a barn. Holy shit! But yeah. So what I'm getting at is curious if you guys would be interested in these style of videos where I basically kind of work on shit. I do some shit. I talk about some other stuff, maybe not automotive related, mostly automotive related. Talk about life. Thought about one day like drinking beer and like talking about women, but I don't want to get myself in trouble. So yeah, look at this. All just plugs boop, right back in. Right back in. Boop. I'm gonna pull the tape for that guy. So yeah, anyhow, I going back to the whole ketogenic diet this morning, because so we're on day. So this morning was day 3. Not this morning. It was like 3 in the afternoon when I woke up. But day 3, I woke up and I went in the kitchen. I was making me some coffee. You know, the Keurig was going and shit. And then all of a sudden, I just got like dizzy and like I just felt like shit. And I was like, "What the hell?" Like, didn't know if I was gonna die or like what the hell was going on. But so anyhow, that's kind of what I was referring to, is that keto flu. Is you kind of get like weird sick as your body like changes from burning, because when you eat carbs it turns into glucose. Your body burns the glucose as the fuel, and then the extra glucose that it doesn't burn turns into fat and stores it. So essentially ketones, from what I'm understanding, I'm not a doctor, I'm not anything, but over my reading, the ketones, it's a different type of it's stored. It's just your stored fat, and it's a different type of energy that it I don't know exactly what it is, but it's supposed to, like, if you're like a runner and all that stuff, like it's like almost twice as much like energy per like oxygen type of thing. So if you're like climbing like mountains and stuff, when you get to the top, you need less oxygen because it takes less oxygen to burn a ketone for the same amount of energy as it does. Something along those lines. I don't want to dig myself a hole and start talking about shit that I don't know a whole lot about, but essentially I'm trying it. I'm going to try it for like 2 weeks and see if that really changes the way I think and the way I process things and the amount of energy and as far as distractions and everything. I just feel like recently it's just been kind of a big distraction, and I'd like to do something about that without taking a bunch of drugs, or I don't like going to the doctor. I don't know when the last time I went to and actually had a checkup was, but don't like going to the doctor. Don't want to be fucked up when I get older, and yeah, so I'm trying that, but I want to have more energy, and I wish I could eat some like bread and shit though, and snacks and cookies, and like literally like all the Arizona teas and shit that I drink. Those are like 20 some grams of carbohydrates per thing, and in the diet you're supposed to stay under 20, and so yeah, that's kind of my little splurge or little random ass talk about that. So I'd be curious to see what you guys say about that, or if you've ever tried anything like that actually works. If you've had issues with Adderall or modafinil or any of those other like smart drugs. I ordered some other shit on the internet that should be here this week, but until then I'm doing like the whole natural thing, which is just controlling it with my diet. So this morning, like after I started feeling like shit, I went and laid down. I was sweating. I was doing all kinds of shit, and I was like, "What the hell? Like, I don't know what's happening to me." And because normally I feel like good. Like most of the time, I don't hurt. I don't any of that stuff. But I usually only get like sick like once a year. But yeah, so I ended up cooking like eggs, bacon, and some ham, and that was really good. And then after that, I felt pretty good, and I pounded some water. Maybe I was dehydrated. But yeah, so that's my little random shit. I'm gonna tighten these and then I'll bark you guys somewhere. I think it's all plugged in. I guess let's see if it works. So anyhow, but yeah, I feel like the kind of the issue with my generation, which is like the millennials and all that shit. Because I'm 24 now, but I feel like a lot of the kids that I grew up with, or just like the culture in general, is people are on this whole like YOLO shit, They're like, fuck, I'm only gonna live once. I'm gonna do a bunch of fucking crazy shit and drugs, and I'm like, Like I don't know. People thought like MDMA or Molly or all that shit didn't have any side effects, and then now, like it's stuff's coming out and it turns your like receptors into like wilted flowers and shit, and I don't know. I don't want to get into that either, but yeah, essentially I just don't want to be. I don't want to be cocked when I get older. I want to be healthy, wealthy, and alive essentially, and being able to do shit. Clean these guys up a little bit. But yeah, if curious kind of what you guys think of that. What you think about all the YOLO type of shit, which I'm down to have a good time. Like I don't mind doing that or doing crazy shit or But I just don't want to risk, like, I feel like a lot of people don't think about that. They're like, oh, fuck it, you know, like, we're here, it's there, this is gonna be great, it's gonna be fun, everybody else does it, and look at them, they're like okay, or it seems like they're having fun. And but yeah, I feel like a lot of people get stuck into that and then end up kind of going down the wrong paths of shit. And but yeah, that's why I work on fucking cars all the time, is because I think they're pretty dope and they keep me busy. I can spend money on them, and I can get the money back out of them usually, or get close to it. Sometimes more, but yeah. So that's my little rant of bullshit. You guys, like I said, let me know what you think. If you don't want to listen to my fucking random ass talk about dumb shit, life, or any of that, I'll shut the fuck up maybe. But until then, well, I'm sure some people will like it. But yeah, and then look at the almonds. I could have like a handful of almonds a day. And a handful of almonds, a teaspoon of sugar, and that's about it. Oh, holy shit. This light right here, this is a Monster light. You get it off like the Mack truck or like, you know, Snap-on truck, whatever the hell lighted it. But man, this thing is awesome. Like for under hood light, holy shit. I thought about doing a I got a lot of videos that like are in my head, like, and I've written them down, and I mean, I got a lot of video ideas in my head, and then when it comes down to them, I'm like, should probably just do more videos maybe. Alright, so I guess this is probably going to be considered its last rip. I don't know if you can see right there, but it was kind of getting, that was third gear, and it was getting a little squirrely on me. I mean, I don't know. I'm just gonna miss the hell out of this thing. It's been a big part of, I don't know, it's just been a big part of the shop for a little while. It's just always been around. It's always cool to, you know that if you want to go do a donut or go on a rip in something, you don't have to hop in the crazy loud ass drift car, and it's kind of cool, you know, kind of cool to drive around. You don't see a lot of them. I mean, shit, you don't really see any of these things driving around, and yeah, so I'm kind of sad about that, but you know, I really kind of need the money from this to really start putting money into the Supra, so that thing can start making some headway. I haven't spent a whole lot of money on it yet, but you know, as soon as I really start ordering like suspension stuff and diff and axles and brakes and interior and all that, once the bodywork won't be too expensive, but yeah, this kind of a sad moment. You can hear the studded snow tires. See, we're in Sankit right now. It doesn't have a front sway bar on it, so it gets kind of squirrely, but man, this thing, it's really crazy. I mean, if you guys watched all my my 1J S13 hatch review, I mean, this car, it gets down for what it is. There's no speedometer, so there's no really concept of how fast it's going. It just feels awesome. I mean, especially for how stock the motor is. I mean, it's basically bone stock. It has an intercooler and a blow-off valve and the boost turned up just a little bit, but fuck it. I mean, we're in, I think, 5th gear right now. Yeah, we're in 5th gear. You get on it, and I mean, it pulls hard. So the guy doesn't seem like it's doing any shaking anything, or like the tires are out of balance, or and I don't think I ever actually drove it on the highway with these tires when I had it when I had them on there. But yeah, so I'm just gonna go fill this thing up with gas and head back to the shop and get her loaded up. How well the audio is gonna pick up on here, but I mean, just the sounds of this thing make are just fucking awesome. Like 4th gear, peaks at like 15 pounds of boost, like 14 pounds of boost, and then tapers off to about 10 or so at high RPMs. Little turbo can't keep up with it at the high RPMs, but still, I mean, it still pulls really strong though. Yeah, definitely gonna miss it. Well, I think it's time's up pretty much. So got everything all on there. Kind of double checked everything. Kind of made him a little care package for like side of the road type of shit, just in case anything happens. You know, a few random things, fuses, relay, random few little tools and stuff. But yeah, so that's there she is. She looks like a sleeper right now. Holy shit! But yeah, kind of a bittersweet moment. You know, I kind of glad to get rid of it, have a little space in the shop, and you know, kind of sad to get rid of it because I'm gonna have an extra space in the well, not extra space. That's gonna get filled pretty soon, and this kind of already took it up. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and go outside, try to load this thing, and then go home, try to take a quick little nap, and then head up there because he's getting into town super early. So, or he's actually flying into Denver, so he's getting in I think at like 9, and it's like not 2:15. It's what the hell time is it? 2:41. 2:40. Good old sketchy DIA. Yeah, so I'm almost up here. Actually, should probably get him on the phone like real quick. So getting up to the terminal here soon. But yeah, I kind of feel like an asshole. I woke up a little bit late, so he's been waiting up here just for a little bit. But you know, kind of feel like a dick about that. But you know, I went to bed at like I looked at my watch at like 6:20, and I was supposed to be waking up at 7:30, and my alarm went off, and then I woke up, turned it off, and then laid there for a second. I was like, oh, I'll get up in a second. And nope, went to sleep. Oh, here it is, the final goodbye. Just went for a little test drive. Seems like he likes it. Well, he's kind of stuck with it now because he flew all the way here, and I picked him at the airport, met him in a random parking lot, and took all his money. But at least I'm giving him a 240, so I think he's pretty excited about it. He's gonna go back to Utah, and he has a right-hand drive Sylvia that's also, but he didn't want to drive that during the winter. So this is gonna be a winter beater. Yep. So, but yeah, I'm sad to see it go, but I'm glad it's going to somebody else. Do you have an Instagram or anything you want to share, or you're gonna keep her a secret?
I'm not really on Instagram so much.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I was gonna say I could throw you a bunch of followers. They could follow along and see where the 1J car went.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, so I think this is goodbye. Bye 1J car. So yeah, we're back at the shop now. On when I was up there dropping off, well, after I sold the 1JZ car, Brian, the guy who picked up my 2J for me, he's already decided to disassemble his 1J. So he had a R154 JZ bell housing that I bought, and extra turbo, an extra stock 1J turbo, and the JZX 100 wiring harness. And this engine is actually a JZX 110 engine. So basically, it used to have the electronic throttle body, the same as my current 2J. But the difference between the 1Js and the 2Js is that these ones had like an immobilizer in the ECU that I guess is kind of weird to mess with. And sometimes you can get them running good, sometimes you can't. I don't know. I haven't really done a lot of research, just from quick little hearing people talk about them. The electronic one's a pain in the ass. So everybody goes back to the old style throttle body, and they delete this traction control crap off of it. Basically, exactly what was done to that other one is we'll end up cutting this off, then weld it back here, cut that off, and then it'll be a nice little short thing, and you won't have an extra traction control flap in there. But so yeah, I basically just picked up extra parts for this thing. I got a clutch fan just in case I could ever figure out how to get one of those to fit in a 240, just because I really like how much air they pull. I have the R154 bell housing just in case I run across the R154, because every single one you run across, they don't have the JZ bell housing. So I got that. I got this little coil pack cover, because this, if you guys remember, this spare engine, this is actually the one. These valve covers were on the 1JZ car, and I don't like these things right here. They have AN fittings, and fittings or whatever the hell, welded on. But I just don't like the look of that. I wish I could find a set of stock valve covers, but I mean, just like that, it just looks a lot cleaner. I just like the way it looks, just completely stock. Got another stock J-pipe, you know, for the intake on the turbo. So yeah, it's just kind of one of them things. Extra parts. I like having extra parts laying around. Really, now after, because this 1J I got, and it, you know, I have the other harness and the other throttle body, but I didn't have an ECU, didn't have MAF, didn't have igniter. It's missing, I think, one injector. So really, all it needs now in order to be completely complete is an ECU, a mass airflow sensor. I have an igniter. I have a few of the other little things. But essentially, I need an R154 and a clutch setup, and then I'll have pretty much a complete 1JZ swap again. 1JZ VVTi with an R154, because this one has that rear sump pan on it, but I'm going to order a new lower, because I'm missing the one on here. I'm going to order a new lower, and that's going to go in the Supra, and then the front sump pan from the 2J over here, that's going to go right on that motor. And so yeah, essentially, yeah, I'll here shortly I'll have a whole nother 1JZ swap. And this was an engine that I acquired in a trade, and it wasn't necessarily the best trade ever, but you know, now it's kind of working out, now that I've found some of these parts available for reasonable prices locally. But yeah, my buddy Jesse, he has an ECU, I think really just mass airflow sensor and some little tidbits, and I'll have a run-in swap. So I do have a little bit of a surprise for you guys. It'll be a little bit down the road, but I'm working on something. I'm trying to do something that'll benefit you know, pretty much everybody, you guys, me as well. But yeah, so I'm gonna do another 1J car, essentially with that, an R154. Definitely take you guys along for the process, but I'm not gonna say too much. But you know, I think all you guys will be pretty excited about that. So. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end this video here. I'm you know, like I said, it's kind of bittersweet, the whole selling the 1JZ car. I'm excited because I still have some other parts to put on the other hatch, you know, that's probably gonna go in. But I'm more excited for the fact that now I have a little bit of money to spend on more parts for this thing. So yeah, I think I'm gonna shortly order that adapter plate for the transmission, but before that, probably bodywork more than anything. I know I keep going back and forth and cutting in and out on this video, trying to decide if I'm ending it or not. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. You know, appreciate all the views. If you guys didn't know a whole lot about the 1JZ car, I did a little review, and I'll put the link, the little eye thing up here. So go ahead and click that. That'll be my full kind of review and overview of the car. So yeah, go check out that video. I think I have a playlist too of basically when I got it from start to finish. So, there's a lot of new guys on the channel, all the old guys on the channel, all the old subscribers. Thank you guys. You guys are, you know, awesome as hell for sticking around with me, and you know, I'm super pumped to have all the new subscribers as well. But yeah, so I'm actually gonna end it here and get to work on some projects soon.